Welcome back to TJ's Modeling Bench, everybody. I told y'all in a few videos back that I was going to take a little break from model cars for a while, even though I am and will be working on my unified scale automotive content creators build, the Dodge the Dodge Dart Hemi kit, which I'm not doing the Hemi part of it anyway. I said I was going to work on an airplane. I've been wanting to get back into a few airplanes for a while. I did cars really all year this year. And I showed you guys this kit back in April after I got back from my first competition north of Mobile here. And anyway, I'm rambling. So the kit is the nice big XB YB-35 flying wing, the Jack Northrop design, the predecessor to the more modern B2, of which I actually worked on the B2 when I was in the Air Force. I was one of the first team members of airmen who were able to turn wrenches on that aircraft when it came into operational service. So I've got a little bit of a history with it. And at one time I had the tester's model kit of the B2, which I need to find one and replace it. Because not only do I have this, but I also have the YB-49, the jet-powered version of the flying wing. So I thought, hey, they're basically identical models. Why don't I just go ahead and build them both? Yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to build both of them. And if I can find another B2, I'm going to build that one too. But for now, we're just going to start with these two. And I'll show you what's in the kit. So this one, when I purchased it, it still had the cellophane wrapper on it, the original wrapper. But some stuff had gotten on it, so it wasn't real clear. So I took it off in order to do this video so you could see it a little better without any, light glare shining on it and whatever it was on that plastic. So give me a second, and we'll start with the YB-35. All right. This box is so big, I almost can't really get it all in the frame of the camera here. I've got about 2.5 inches here on this left side that you can't even see of the box. And I can't get it any closer on this right side to my my arm that holds my phone for the camera. So we're just going to do the best we can. And I have already looked in this. And, I couldn't figure out why this one was so much heavier than the other one. Now, this one was already opened. I never did look in it when I purchased it. I just assumed it was all there. And it is. But to my pleasant surprise, it's more than all there because it actually has 2 full kits in it. Now, the gentleman I purchased this from, John's Models, near Pensacola, Florida, he's in the greater Pensacola area. He goes around, he buys these, estate sales and buys, a whole lot of model kits. So I'm sure he bought this from somebody who had some kind of plan to do at least the 2 aircraft. So, yeah, I technically now have 3 flying wings, not counting the B2. So I've got 2 of these in this box. And so there's the upper and lower half of the center section of the wing. This would be the pilot's cockpit area here. An observer's bubble, tail gunner. It actually had a tail gunner. Or it would have had a tail gunner had it gone into production. So none of these aircraft went into production. And all examples of them were destroyed by the government. Not too bad a detail in them. The panel lines are recessed, so not bad. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna try to do my first ever metal finish on these, because they were not painted. I mean, you could probably paint one in some kind of an olive drab or something like that to mimic what it would have looked like had it gone into operation. But I'm not going to do that. We're just going to stick with what it actually looked like when they built them. All right, so there's probably that's the upper halves of two right wings, wingtips. And they are identical. I'm not sure. All right, they've been rubbing around inside these boxes for a while. I think this blackish color that's on these, I think that actually came from the ink on the instruction sheets. I don't think that's any real damage. All right, and then here are the other two halves. So these are both left wing tips. All right, so there's two aircraft, upper and lower. Here is the other set. So here's the other aircraft, upper and lower wingtips, still in the packaging. So yeah, this is definitely two full kits. Here's your leading edge. Leading edge with the intake for cooling. You know, actually one of these could possibly be the jet version of this. One of these could be that. No, because here's the other. All right. So the leading edges must have been fairly similar between the two types. Yeah, okay. There's one of the bubble canopies, and it looks like, yeah, I can feel in here, wrapped in paper towel, there's another canopy there. So the rest of that plastic is in this one, and here's this plastic. So what did I do with that canopy? There it is. All right, so that one came off of there, no big deal. A little bit of flash on that piece. So there's not a lot of clear parts, but let me go ahead and slide these into this bag. That way they're a little better protected. All right, so that is the box with the XB YB-35. And I'll show you the instructions for this. This kind of shocked me, actually. There's actually 2 pages. So this is sheet 1 of 2. And I've got 2 of 2 over here to my right. But look how they fold out. Instead of a book style, it is one great big sheet with the different steps labeled on it. Front, and then a few of them still on the back. And the second one is just like that. It folds out the same way. So there's your starting to get a more complete aircraft by this point. And then the markings. And that's one thing I'm going to have to try to look into, seeing if I can get the decals remade by someone, because these are pretty badly yellowed. I don't think those are going to hold up. I mean, they might. And there, I do have 2 full sets. This one you can see there is some kind of damage to the backing paper. This one does look a little better. So I might give it a try, but I think I'm going to have these remade by somebody. maybe STS decals. Anyway, we'll figure that out at another point in time. Again, more of the original instruction manuals. So obviously 2 kits in this box. And then this was in here as well. So this must have been... It looks familiar, whatever website this came from. But it looks like it's got some tips on how to assemble this for the best finish. So I'll give it a read through and see. But I really need to find another B2 to go with these. So, all right, let's take a look at the other one. All right, now let's look at the YB-49, which is technically the same aircraft. They just modified it to use, at the time, the most current jet engines instead of the pusher prop version that they had on the 35. And you can see there's quite a bit less in this box because it is only 1 kit. This one was the box that still had the original seal on it. And yet there is still, oh no, I'm sorry, yep, sheet 1 and sheet 2 of 2. So you've got same instructions. These decals, ooh, actually they don't look any better. You know what's weird? There is no gloss to that at all. Like there's no carrier film on top. Now you can see, I think you can see, there's some yellowing of where, you know, your carrier film would be, but I can't feel anything. That is weird. I don't think that's going to be any good at all. Alright, so here's our other halves. Like I said, basically identical to the other aircraft. I want to see now those leading edges. Yeah. So see the leading edges, these intakes, those are exactly the same. So there's not a lot of difference between these 2 models. So, you know, as far as building 2 airplanes at once, this should go pretty quickly because everything, with the exception of the propellers on one and the lack of propellers on the other, and a little bit of a difference in vertical stabilizers, there really isn't any difference in these kits. So that'll be kind of neat. And, you know, the only way I can make them more different is the way I finish them, and I'm going to do both of them in a natural metal finish, but I may have to shade different panels differently. But yeah. All right, check this out. What is this? Ertl Blueprinter. Wow. You know, I looked on these boxes. I did not see a manufacture date on them, so I'm not real sure when these were made. And it, you know, it's kind of deceptive the way they packaged them, because, you know, if you look at it, this box is nearly twice the size of what it really needs to be. And that's, you know, I'm sure that's all part of marketing. Get more people to buy it because it's going to look bigger. It's 1/72nd scale, and, you know, the finished airplane, you know, it's almost 2.5 feet wingspan, so almost, actually a little bit more than the size of this box, but in pieces, it's half the size of this box. So they could have saved some money on the boxes, but I'm sure using the bigger box, they were able to sell more because people thought it would be bigger. Pretty cool, huh? I think I got pretty lucky with that one kit. I mean, it's one box for one kit, but there's 2 identical kits inside of it. So, but I'm not going to build both of those. I want one YB-35 or XB-35 and one XB YB-49. So the other XB-35, I don't know. I mean, if somebody wants it, let me know. Maybe I'll send you those parts. You know, you'll have a complete kit. It won't be in the box. I'll package it differently and send it to you if you want it. But anyway, you know, follow along on this one. I think this is going to be a pretty fun experience. Like I said, the natural metal finish, I've never really done that. I have worked with some all-clad paints before, the chrome, but I've never tried to do a whole model that way, and I don't know if I'm going to go with the all-clad or try the AK colors. I don't know. It's going to be a decision I'll need to finalize before too long, but we'll go ahead and start putting pieces together and getting primer on it, and then we'll go from there. It shouldn't be a difficult build. I mean, there's not a whole lot to them, really. I mean, it's a flying wing, right? There's not much. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel to follow me when I post progress reports on this and some of my other builds. And for those of you that have subscribed, thank you. I appreciate it. And y'all have a good week. Peace and love.